Hey everyone, and welcome to the next assignment. We are going to learn a little bit more about different selection tools and how to actually apply them to projects other than the Finn and Jake that we were doing. So now we are going to be working on taking this image of a girl, removing the background, and then adding a new background, which in this case is going to be a wall mural. I'm going to start by opening the file with a girl in it. Once I have it open, you should see an image like this. In this case, it's going to be pretty easy to remove the background because it's just a flat white wall. What we can do to remove this background, I would recommend just using the magic wand. I tried using the quick selection tool and it didn't work out super great. So what we want to do is instead use the magic wand. We're going to go to the fourth tool down and we're going to click and hold and select the third tool, which is magic wand. For you guys, you're going to have a different number up here under tolerance. So I want you to go ahead and set this number to 35. Once you set it to 35, just press enter on your keyboard. And you can now just click this back white wall to select the edges. You'll notice that it didn't get everything. So what we want to do now is zoom in using Control plus and scroll down. And we can add to the selection just like we did with the lasso tool by just holding shift on our keyboard and clicking with the magic wand. So if I hold shift and click these areas, it will now grab them. It also didn't grab the center part of her leg, so we're gonna again hold shift and click to get those as well. These little ones I'm gonna handle later on. So now I'm gonna scroll up. You can see that it got parts of the image that we didn't want it to get, such as this part of her shirt. We are gonna fix that later with the lasso tool. For now, we wanna just focus on getting rid of that background. So again, there are these small parts that we can clean up later. We're gonna just skip those for now. And I'm gonna go ahead and zoom back out with Control minus. And it looks like by grabbing those small pieces at the bottom, it also grabbed the top corners that it hadn't selected before either. So now, before I delete, I want to zoom in again. And I want to clean up the areas that it grabbed or didn't grab. To do this, I'm going to use the lasso tool. This points out how important it is to know the lasso tool, even though it is a little more tricky to work with. So first I'm going to take a look at the hair. It looks okay, but it looks like there's some white wall back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this whole area to the selection and forget this strand even exists. So with the lasso tool, I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to click and drag in a circle. And I've now just added this strand of hair to the wall that I'm going to get rid of. And I think I'll just clean it up a little bit more. Now, as I go down, I see that it did grab a piece of her shoulder. So we want to deselect that. We don't want to delete that part of her shirt. So now to deselect, we would hold the Alt key if you're using a Chromebook and the Option key if you're using a Mac. And then click and drag this shoulder area. I might as well get this bottom part too. And then come back to where I started. I grabbed some of the white wall as well, so I'm just going to clean that up by holding shift and reselecting it. If you feel that I'm going too fast at any of these parts, just remember that you can always pause, do it yourself, and then continue playing it. So now I'm going to deselect these parts of her shirt just like I did up there. So I'm going to hold Alt or Option, and I'm going to carefully and slowly grab these parts. Option again down here on the elbow. And that looks pretty clean. So I'm just going to work my way down. Looks like it grabbed a piece of her shirt here as well. So again, I'm going to hold Alt or Option and click and drag with the lasso tool. And just bring it all the way back around. I'm going to keep scrolling down. This whole leg portion looks really good. We don't want to select the floor. We want to leave the floor alone because we are going to keep it there. There's this little brown part it didn't grab, so still on the lasso tool, I'm going to hold Shift and manually grab it. So this looks good. I'm going to keep working my way up and to the left side. So there's a lot of the shirt that the magic wand grabbed here. So I'm going to hold Option or Alt, and I'm going to get this whole section. You can also do this in pieces. You don't have to do it all at once like I'm doing. And the key to being neat and clean with these edges is to just move your mouse very slowly. At this point, if you haven't gotten a mouse, then you are really going to struggle. So I very much recommend just getting a cheap mouse if you haven't already. Again, here we have parts of the shirt that it's selected. So I'm going to hold Option and deselect. Sorry, Alt or Option. And then there's a piece of white wall sticking out between her hair as well. So I'm going to add this to the wall selection by holding Shift now. So I'm going to hold Shift and I'm going to just trace out this triangular shape. I'll clean these up later if I feel like I need to, but for now I'll leave them alone. And then there are a few little pieces right here as well that it didn't grab. So I'm going to hold Shift and add this to the wall. Everything else looks pretty clean. So I'm going to zoom back out. And I'm going to now hit Delete on my keyboard. Now that I've deleted the white wall background, I'm going to go ahead and deselect my selection by going to Select and Deselect. Go ahead and, if you've gotten this far, take a moment to save. There's no point in saving before this part because you're in the middle of selecting. So once you delete the background, go ahead and save. And we are going to insert another background in the next video.